18th letter, the God MC Rakim Allah. Thank you, brother, for being here and giving us some time after blazing the stage. On behalf of everyone at Mokafy, we definitely appreciate your time, and it's an honor to talk to you about finance, money, life, creativity, and just the lessons you learn just in your life, man. If you had to just break down what makes someone great, and wanting to pursue what their goals are, what made you great?
I think, man, my passion. I'm one of them people that I don't like nobody tell me I can't. And I think just my love for music, my love for MCing, and again, man, just that fire, just wanting to be, in the beginning it was wanting to be good, and then it turned into wanting to be accepted, and then it turned into wanting to be great, and that's when I knew, like, what the difference was between good and great, and just buckle down. And I did so much other preparations, outside of music to shape my craft, man. But yeah, you just gotta push the envelope, have passion, and go for your dreams.
What was that turning point? So you said, like, from good to great.
Yo, what's funny is when I went. Well, after I met Eric B, knowing that I wasn't just rhyming for the neighborhood no more, you know what I mean? Knowing that I was gonna be on records and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, was gonna hit me. Yeah. So I always loved MCing, but at that point it was like, okay, this is serious, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to please my high school friends, or people in the park or people in my neighborhood. I had to open up and cater to millions of people. You know what I mean? So I think that was what made me really grab the bull by the horns and try to be the best that I could.
Indeed, yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about it then. Just talking about excelling and being on your path. Let's talk about paid in full, man. For us, Mokafy as a company, it's probably like our unofficial theme song. You know what I mean? If our founder was here, we take jazz back and forth and lyrics and everything. And for us as a financial company, paid in full kind of makes sense, it's obvious.
Right.
But really it's the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go the righteous route, I could go the dangerous route.
Right.
I used to be a stick-up kid, start to think
Right.
all the devious things I did, what I mean? So it's like, it just says a lot. That whole line is basically what we're about, what I mean? Helping black and brown folks create a path to wealth who have been cut out, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but what does it mean to you, man? Just after all this time, I mean, I guess, I can capture it from the lyric. You said what you meant, what I mean? But after all this time, what does paid in full mean?
I mean, it's more than money. You know what I mean? It's more than money. And, that's that, like, to me, it's like, yeah, you get paid or you get paid in full. And to me, it just had more, meaning and more reason than money. To me, paid in full is to be successful all the way around. You know what I mean? And success doesn't, again, mean money. What you do, what you love. If you got a craft, or if you play sports, or if you going to school, whatever you do, you know what I mean? Just be the best that you can be. And that always, I always wondered if it resonated with people, more than money. You know what I mean? I always wondered, like, I wonder if they, realize it's like paid in full, like everything you do in life. You know what I mean? Just be successful. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's one of them things, man. But it's a blessing that that was the first album, and it resonated with people like that, and I was able to expand the thought of that phrase.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, but you know, it's captured just on the art in the beginning, you know, I mean, in the front of the cover. Just like I said, in the narrative, man, because maybe not so much back then, but soon after, like, who would say, well, you know, I used to be a stick-up kid, think all the devious things I did, and then go to, well, will I survive? Maybe I should get a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like, to go the other way, it's like, all right, yeah, maybe, you know, it ain't about the money necessarily. You know, it's about the money, but it's not all about the money. Like, it's about
making
longevity.
right decisions and trying to be smart about what you do, and knowing when you get to that crossroad, you know, that you do have a choice, and regardless of where, you know, where you just came from, you can get to that crossroad, man, and make a righteous choice, man. And again, that's what it was. And speaking to people as the people was always important to me. You know what I mean? For somebody going through anything serious in their life, any trials and tribulations, or just somebody just struggling to make it. You know what I mean? That's what it, like when I was writing it, I said, you know, you can write a song like this and people can say, that's easy for you to say, bro. You know what I mean? But do you have a real resolution? Right. You know what I mean? Like if you saying that we have to be paid in full and that's gonna help us, you know what I mean? Like, so what's the resolution? Yeah. So, you know, I always thought about it. So, you know, I said, okay, if I go to the people as the people and just speak to them from something that we all lived or something we go through, or just get in a predicament where you have to make that decision that's, you know, save your life or save your reality. And that's what it meant to me, man. Just trying to, you know, let people know, like, yeah, it's easy to go get the hammer. Right. And, you know, wait to see who come down the block with the most paper. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Or you could say, all right, you could look at that same brother and say, man, this brother look, you know, successful. You know, what is he doing? You know what I mean? Like he you know, he just got out a nice whip, got some new joints on his feet, got a nice chick sitting in the car. Instead of robbing him, you might want to ask him, yo, my brother, what's good, man? Yo, I see you shining, man. Like, how you do that, man? People scared to ask that question. How you do that? Because then they gonna, you know, they feel that, you know, like they don't know, like you're supposed to know. Nah, man, it's a question. Everybody do it different. Right. But, you know, that's where we at, man, as a society. And having the cat that does know give you the jewels, so that we can, you know, each one teach one and pass it on. That's what it used to be. And we thrived off of that because, you know, they used to always tell us, why is a question that's asked by a wise man. So that changed the narrative from, now I can't ask them because, you know, I'm supposed to know. Right. If I ask them, then they're gonna think that I don't know. But that changed the narrative. Like, nah, why is a question asked by a wise man? If you want to know something, ask why. So, you know, we need to get back on that.
Indeed. I know you're a Bruce Lee fan, so, you know, lifelong learner, man.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Bruce, you got to ask the right questions and seek that. So dope. Well, speaking on that, I mean, one other thing, too, that I picked up, another thing you picked up from reading your memoir, Sweat the Technique. But one thing that was dope, it just reminded me of my uncles and my pops to a certain degree when your father told you to squeeze the green, I guess, squeeze the green when you got off. Squeeze the green off when you got a little bread. Can you maybe just recount that, man? And just what
it's funny, man. It's funny because, like, my pops, he would always say something and leave the end off. So you'd be sitting there like, but don't ask him why. Right. That's back to that. You know what I mean? Right. So you didn't want to ask why. You wanted your pops to think, you know, you were smart. You know? But he used to always, you know, throw little stuff at me, man. So one day, we was out seeing my family. We was out in Jersey, which is crazy. We was out in Jersey City. That's where my grandmother used to live.
Jersey City?
Yeah.
Where's your grandmother live?
Belmont.
I'm from Jersey City. So
crazy. She lived right off Belmont, where I was born. Yeah. But I used to be out there all the time.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh wow.
I was born all the time as a kid.
Okay.
So we hanging out. I got my crew, about 15 kids.
Yeah.
We all on the block, wilding out. The ice cream truck come down the block. Turn around, look for my pops. As soon as my pops did this, when I asked him, he kind of looked over my head. I looked around, and it registered to me like, yeah, I got 15 people with me.
Right.
And my pops ain't just gonna buy me no ice cream and not let. So when I asked him, he almost looked at me like, I know you ain't just asking for that with 15 people with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I actually dug in his pocket and bought all the kids ice cream. Right? Mm-hmm. Maybe 3 hours later, there's a store in the corner. I wanted to go down to the store. So I went over to my pops like, Dad, little change, I want to go to the store. So he looked at me like, I just spent about $40 on you and the whole block. You got the nerve, come ask me for some more money. So he looked at me, pulled it out, put some money out. He gave it to me and said, here, squeeze the green off it. Me being a little kid, I grabbed it, balled it up in my hand, stuck my hand in my pocket, walked to the store with my hand clutched on the money. Said, I ain't losing this. I went to the store, put it on the counter. Those is pennies. How much more money? I got 15 cents left. Give me 15 of those. Yeah. Spent the whole $5 in the store. So on the way home, I'm coming home, and I see my pop sitting on the joint. So I look up, and he looking at me. You see, I got a big bag, you know what I mean? So you looking. So then, as I'm walking, I'm starting to realize, like, I don't think that's what he meant by squeeze the green off. You know what I mean? Because it's only about 5 o'clock. I know I'm gonna want some more money later on. I'm like, oh, I get it. Yeah. So I took my time with that little bag of snacks that I had, because I knew that was it. But I figured out what he was saying is like, don't lose it. That ain't what he was saying. He was saying, don't spend it all.
Yeah.
Don't spin it off. Squeeze the green off. You know what I mean? But he would always do that, man, and say something where I had to figure it out, put the rest together, man. But I love him for that, because he always, made me think I was always on my toes. I was always on my toes. And to go deeper, I went to see my grandfather. I remember I might have been 6, and grandfather come in the room, I'm sitting there watching TV, and grandfather's old. I'm maybe the youngest kid in the family, so the gap between us, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what to say to my grandfather, but how you doing, grandpa, this and that. But he come sit down, he look at me, he said, how you doing, Pop? I said, I'm all right, Grandpa. He said, you having fun? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having a ball. He said, you learn anything? I was about to lie. I said, yeah. But I know if I would have said yeah, he would have asked me, what you learned? Yeah. So he said it, so I was like, again, you don't want to seem, dumb or naive or ignorant. So, you wanted to say you learned something, but I ain't gonna lie. No, I didn't. So he said, just don't go to sleep. I'm 6 years old, man. So I'm like, oh, it's summer vacation, man. What do you mean? I gotta do work while I'm down here?
Right.
Thought about that all day. But not till I, got older. I realized what he was saying was, if you ain't learned nothing in a day, don't go to sleep. You wasted a day. You know what I mean? So
read something,
read something, learn something, do something, you know what I mean? Be involved with something to elevate, your mind, further than it was the day before, man. So, but I had to come up with all of this, you know what I mean? And the little quizzes and all that, man. And it's funny, I do the same thing to my kids, you know what I mean? But kept me sharp. It keeps them sharp, man.
Indeed. Yeah, so I was gonna ask you this a little later, but I ask you now, man. Your sons is nice on the mic, man. Tamel at home, the 1995 joint. I like that. That's dope.
Thank you.
And then I caught, I think your other son Jabbar. He was spitting on YouTube. He was spitting on. He was like a photo shoot. He was doing a photo shoot, but it was a little while back. I saw him spitting. But just what's your advice, man? I mean, on all your kids, just like advice on longevity and their careers, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, like I sit down and talk to my kids, and you know, it's one of them things where, you know, just like life, you want your kid to know everything you know, and explain to them that they need more than that. So, you know, just being there and building with them all the time. Whenever it came to music, it's a whole different, you know, conversation, because you know, reality is reality. You explain that the way it's, you know, supposed to be explained. But when you're trying to tell your kid how inventive he has to be, you can imagine, you know, some of the conversations we had. Like, you know, I try to give it to them where, you know, they get it. And when they stand up, they feel like they weigh 30 more pounds. And when they think about something, they think about, you know, 4 words at a time instead of 1. Like, I try to give it to them so crazy that it's, you know what I mean? So, you know, some of the conversations, man, like, you know, I kind of enjoy doing that with them, because I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't even tell certain rappers about, you know, some of the things, you know what I mean, little tricks and little things, and you know, where I go. Like I was telling the kids today, you gotta have that place somewhere in you to dig and get the inspiration out of it. And you know, just, you know, having fun with my kids and being able to tell them some of the things I don't tell nobody about, you know, writing. You know, just feel good.
No doubt. Well, I ain't your kid, but if you want to share a jewel or something, you know, man, nah.
that we might be here all night for that, man. That's, you know what I mean?
Listen to the record, study the record. Well, yeah, I mean, and your catalog is crazy. I know your catalog, but I'm gonna stay at Paid in Full just because it's just, you know, just on the financial tip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, another iconic lines, man, is I don't like to dream about getting paid. That part stuck with me even as a kid, but today, you know, and even before you get to the second half of the line, it's like, I don't like to dream about getting paid. It's just, it's action in that. Like, all right, I'm gonna go get what I need to get.
That's right.
In life.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? What's the lessons you learn to help you keep getting paid so it ain't a dream, but it stays a reality, man? You know what I mean?
Man, I think just being focused, you know, trying to make the right moves. Like I was telling the kids earlier, man, like, I know my moms and pops ain't here physically, you know what I mean? But I still do everything, and I look for they, you know, I look for their cosign. So, you know, if I do something and I feel like, you know, if my pops was standing next to me and I did that, then, you know what I mean? So I try to make sure that, you know, what I'm doing is contrary to that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like that's my God. You know what I mean? And to keep me on the straight and narrow, man. But
and just family too, man. I know, you know, you get it honest in terms of, you know, just jazz music, hip hop, you know, the two truly original American art forms, man.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And I know, you know, your aunt Ruth Brown, the legendary jazz singer, your brothers Ronnie, Stevie playing on the records. That I didn't know until I read, but I was like, yeah, like on Listen to the Beat, I think Stevie on the keys, something, I can't remember, I ain't remembering the line right now. But
yeah, Stevie
I'm getting
Glass
old,
on the
I'm getting
keyboard.
old.
It's a couple joints.
And just reading, I think, now I can't remember, I don't know if it was your brother Ronnie, but you was like, yo, put your left hand in your pocket, man, because he go crazy on the jazz.
Too talented, man. And he would come to the crib, like, he'd be like, we gonna make a beat. So I would put some drums up, nice little drums, and he'd go get on the piano. And I'm like, Ronnie, man, put your left hand in your pocket, man. He's like, what you talking about? I said, that's too much, man. That's R&B, man. I said, this hip hop, man. Two fingers, bro. He's so talented, man. He just, but
how do you break? So, but knowing that's jazz, like you could hear you and it's jazz there. Like, how did that influence the sound to keep it hip hop for you? Like, how you think about the process?
Well, when it comes to the tracks, I used to always, you know, incorporate jazz into hip hop, and I always say that hip hop came from all genres. You know what I mean? And it's easy to take it and insert it back because that's where it came from. But it's just for me. It was dope to be able to grow up in a house where jazz was heavy in the house. Because what that did for me is it taught me time and space. You know what I mean? Like hip hop is 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Period. Jazz could be anything from 5/8 to 1, 3, 6, 12. It doesn't have to have a even pattern. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just remember, being young, hearing the different, like, they would play R&B soul, but then when the jazz come on, you don't tap your foot or nod your head the same way. So I had to listen. Jazz is intricate. You can have a bar. I'll explain this as a bar. You can have a bar of jazz music that may have 20 notes in it. A bar in hip hop, same bar may have 3 notes in it.
Right.
So with the timing, it's the same thing. So I learned that regardless of what the timing is, if my bar's this big, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not looking at it like it's hip hop time. I'm looking at it like that's jazz time.
That's crazy.
So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? Like you just you figure out how much time do you have before the end of that bar. So I just started incorporating the rhythms and the timings of jazz and the hip hop. You know what I mean? And that worked up. It kind of, it worked beautifully.
But Brother Bill, man, I know we got to wrap up. We could go off on that, man, because I got crazy questions. I think of you and Miles the same too, by the way. Like, well, because Miles, when I really got it, the space, yo. And you do the same thing, like you like, so what?
Word up. That's why I love.
And the space in there, and like, yo.
I love Miles Davis because it seems like he didn't care. He didn't care about the cookie cup. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Miles would play a note, turn around and chill, stand there for a minute, then turn back around, play 2 notes and turn around, chill. My brother used to tour with him too, man. So I started studying Miles Davis. My brother told me a funny story. He was like, Miles is a funny dude, right? He's like, I seen him whip up on, musicians in the locker room and all that. But I mean, the dressing room. But he was like, a couple days ago, the reason why we're speaking about him, he was on TV, and they finally gave him an award. But Miles came out, kind of greeted the crowd, tipped his hat, then he turned backwards and started playing. So I asked my brother, I was like, he always, he don't face the crowd when he. My brother said, that's Miles' way of saying kiss my ass. You know what I mean? So I'm like, word? He like, yeah, Miles is like, wow. You could really feel like that? Like, kiss my ass while you performing? Like, so it just gave me just profound, understandings on, performing. Like, you could feel however you want to feel. You know what I mean?
You're giving that energy.
Word is born. And if you feel a way, it's okay to express that. But you still, you got to do your thing. But so that just let me know, man, that music is a free expression, and it's however you feel, and it should be whatever you want to say, man. So,
like, what are those lessons of just longevity and creating wealth so that you can continue to do what you want to do, whatever that passion may be, until you're ready not to do it, and just be able to have options to do it?
Yeah, man, I think that's very important. Understanding the power that you have, understanding your worth. You know what I mean? I came into the industry 16, 17. And the first thing that you aware of is how entertainers get caught and, you know, get caught up with the money situation. I think the first thing I wanted was a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you start learning quick, because you know I ran and got that motorcycle.
Right.
But then, you know, 2 weeks later, it's like, you know, I didn't really need that motorcycle. You know what I mean? But you know, so I started learning. You know, there's things that I want, there's things that I need, there's things that's important, and there's things that's fun. So, you know, I just had to, you know, at a young age, man, you know, I had to, you know, make conscious decisions. And I wanted to prove to my moms and pops that I was, you know, able to handle it. I was responsible enough to handle my success and my money as well. So I always, you know, tried to make, you know, smart decisions. You know, and again, in the beginning, you know, gold chains, and you know, you get the rims for the car.
Right.
A couple weeks later, you're like, I don't really need the rims. Cars still work without. But you know what I mean? Is you learn quick if you paying attention to what you're doing. Then you start realizing. You know, I used to put $10,000 car systems in the car. And then you turn it up, and you start ducking because it's so loud, and you can't even play the music loud because it's too loud. You got ear wax coming out your ears because your ears is vibrating. So it's like, okay, why did I do that? So, you know, I started learning to, you know, be a little more, or a lot more conscious about what I did with my money. And then I started to manage my money by knowing what I needed to live, knowing what my bills was monthly, knowing what I like to do monthly, and just, you know, managing my money. Like, okay, I can do this, I can't do that, I can't afford that, and maybe if I be careful, then maybe later on I might be able to go buy myself one of these, because I do need that. You know what I mean? So just, you know, being smart, putting your priorities in order, being smart about what you do. And, you know, it's the same thing I, you know, try to tell my kids. And what's good is they see me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They see me, they see, you know, I'm not just telling you this, you see me do the same thing. So that's a good thing about it. So, you know, I guess at the end of the day, man, you know, you practice what you preach, especially to your kids. And when it comes to money, you know, you got to be very transparent and let them know, you know, what it is and what it ain't. What's good, man? You know what it is, man. You know what it's about. Mocha 5, baby. Build wealth from scratch. All right? Get on board.